In this video, I'll teach you how to send beautiful emails with Flodesk. We will start with the most exciting part, which is basically creating beautifully designed emails using one of the templates. I'll go through how to update the templates, add your images, videos, dynamic text with the subscriber's name, and so on. This is also the section where I'll explain how the Flodesk builders work. So don't skip this lesson because I'm gonna kind of show mostly how to use this software. Hello Internet people, my name is Robert and I help creators with the technical side of their business. And this is the third lesson in my complete Flodesk course. You can also go back and watch the first lesson by clicking on this video button right here. So to create your first email, just click on the emails in the top menu. You will land on this page, and by the way, you can get a 50% off your first year if you use the link in the video description. And don't worry if you already started with the free trial, you can just come here and click on your picture here at the top and then plan and billing. From here, choose a plan. And then if you choose email plus e-commerce, that's up to you. So from here, upgrade now. And when it's asking for the billing information, you have here, got a code. If you press on it, you can enter here this code, tips with punch. And this will give you the same discount of 50% of the first year. We get a lot of different templates here. And I think what's unique about Flodesk is the type of templates they have. The emails and the forms are just, they have such a different styling than the other tools I've used so far. Really, you can go through them, or you can also use the filters here on the left to filter out by the certain categories. For example, if you're looking for a welcome email, get some inspiration, you can come here and look at these. Let's say I'm interested in this one. I can preview it by clicking on this first. And then if I hover over this part, I can scroll down here and see how it looks like. Okay, and then obviously this is on desktop. I want to see how it looks like on mobile. I just click on this little icon and it shows me the same thing on mobile phone. Now I'm not looking for a welcome email. I wanted something more salesy here. So I'm just going to come here and click on make money. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to start from scratch, it's totally possible. And at some point, you'll probably want to set up your own templates. But when starting out, it's so much easier to use a pre-made template. So I'm just going to select make money. And from here, let's say this one looks interesting. Let me choose that one. And again, here, I'm going to scroll down. Okay, some of these sections I don't need, but don't worry, you can adjust the colors, you can remove sections. So whatever looks in general good, just choose one of those templates. So I'm gonna choose this one because I think it can work really well for what I need. And then let's click on customize. There you go. This is the Flodesk editor and it's super easy to use. If you ever need to add any sections or new elements, you just click on these little pluses. You get more options. From here, you can add the most common elements you would expect, like images, text, buttons, and things like that. And then you have these layouts. I'm going to come back to these layouts because they're super powerful. But this is how you would add them. But first of all, I don't like that there's a logo here at the top, so I want to get rid of it. So if I click on this element, I can just delete it. Or if I click on this element, there's also other options here. I can duplicate it, or I can also go directly to the block settings, which I will now. If I click on this, you see here on the right, it's inside the block. So for this block, we can choose the background. So if I change from here to like the skin color, and you can adjust the padding. So for example, we can adjust the padding on top. You see it adds a bit of margin here at the top, or padding actually. That's what we're doing here. And same thing, we can adjust a bit at the bottom here. So it just has a bit of more space to breathe. And then you have left and right. So that's all you can do for this specific block, but for some blocks you can do much more. You'll see in a second. We can also adjust the font here just because this is a text element, and if you're not happy, you just change from here. So for example, I can take this one and then it will change it, and then from here you can choose the weight of the font. So in this case there's only two. You can adjust the size, the color, and also the alignment. So if you want something in center, you can do that. And well, you could just shout everything, but this looks really spammy, so I wouldn't do that. And you can adjust this spacing. Now for text, because that's going to be kind of the main part of your emails, there's even more settings. You just don't know it yet. If you just underline any of the text, you get more options. So for example, I can bold the text here, make it italic, also strike through, make it even to a numbered or a bullet list. also add a link to it. So I could just make this into a link. If I click on this from here, I'll just add my link, and then it will, obviously, if you click on it, it will take you to that URL. Right now I don't need it, but the cool thing is you can also attach a file directly from here. So if I attach, you can just upload a file to Flodesk, and then people are able to download it directly. That's really powerful. So next, what we can do, what I want to show you is this variable here. So it just says, hey, first name / friend. That's kind of weird. If I click on it, actually, let's just remove it. I'm going to add it back in. So here we can type @, and now we can personalize this email. Since most of the time when you get the email address, you also ask for the first name and maybe last name, you have that information in Flodesk. So now if I select first name, and then what it's saying, if first name is unavailable, then display this. So you could add, for example, the friend here. So what does that mean? If we know the first name, then we're just gonna say, hey, Bob, or hey, Lisa, and the friend won't show up. But if we don't know that, if it's empty, it's just gonna use hey, friend. So that's why you see first name / friend. Next, we have another block, and let's say this one is actually with an image. So I can click on the image. In here, you see we have more options. We have block, but also we have image, layout, and link. So image, obviously, we want to upload an image. So I already prepared some images here. So I'm just going to upload my picture of me. And now you can see that it appears here. You also have some effects. I can make, if this is too bright, I could make add a bit of opacity so it gets a bit darker. But for this specific element, I think it doesn't make sense. It makes sense that it's just a nice picture of the person. And then I can adjust the layouts here. This is really nice feature because what you can do is here, you see there's an image, I have some text here. So what I can go through is these different layouts. So let's say I'm not happy with this and I would just want to spice it up. So here, if I select this template, it still keeps the image. It does change the text right now here. So that you would need to update it. But at least from here, you can go through some of these templates and see if it fits your needs. So for example, here, Rose My Way. So you can see that I would need to adjust this text and stuff like that. But I think it's just cool that you're able to, on the fly, test out different templates. And there's a lot of them here. So let's say here, I actually want a testimonial. I can just pick this one and I already have it in here. Now I could come here. I don't like the gray color. So I can just come here, click on block and adjust the background here. So let's pick something a bit less, you know, like I'll just pick the white one. And what else you can do for this specific block, you can also show image. So I could have this without image. I could also remove the header or show the icons. But yeah, let's say I don't want to see the icons, so I can just remove them. So each block has a bit of different settings depending what features it just has. Now, obviously, you can just come here and adjust the text, adjust this description, and also adjust how many stars you have here. So right now, number of icons 4, I can just say 5. So then it's 5 out of 5. Obviously, because it's my service, it's the best ever. But also you have different shapes here. So instead of the stars, you can have fire or, you know, smileys like this. So it's really up to you what do you prefer. So let's say the stars work the best. But I want to have yellow stars because that's more common. Something like this. By the way, if you're interested in setting up an email newsletter in Flodesk but just need a little help or guidance, then book me for a one-on-one call or check my Flodesk turnkey services where I'll basically build it for you. The links will be in the description. Now, if you scroll down, we have more sections, but I actually don't want this section. I want to remove this one. I'm just going to get rid of it. Same thing with this one. Just going to get rid of it. And maybe these dividers, we're not going to need it. Then we have this countdown timer, and this is really a useful feature if you have some sort of a sale that has a deadline. So for example, if I click on these numbers, from here you have an option to adjust the timer settings, and you have two options. You have personalized, so you see timer begins when an individual subscriber opens their email. So when I open this email, let's say I set it to 3 hours. When I open this email, and let's say I come back in an hour, again, to look at it, this time I would say 2 hours. So it remembers, you know, the time you open, and it just counts 3 hours from that point. And then you can, you know, make a offer within next 24 hours. If you do something, then you get this discount. But maybe a bit more traditional way of using this is to have a fixed time that your sale ends by, let's say I have a sale which ends, I don't know, tomorrow at midnight. So I'll just select from here 12 a.m. So it ends here, and you see that it already updates the time. So it's about a bit more than 8 hours until this sale ends, and it's just gonna count down until this time is reached, and then the sale basically ends. And you're gonna also adjust the title, description, and also the button. And if I click on this block again from here, you're gonna disable some of this. So for example, if you don't want to have description, you can disable it. But in my case, I don't need this block. It's I'm gonna just delete it. In my case, it's not useful right now. But what I want to show you here is I'm just going to remove all of these, but I'm going to keep this one, the title, because I want to grab it and just slide it in here above this e-commerce block, which is also, this is a new element that the Flodesk introduced, I think today. It's completely new. So let me delete this stuff first. I'm going to leave the rest. So let's say here, bonus deals. No, I want to have a block saying like work with me. So basically, you can book me for different services. Here, again, this works exactly the same as an image block. You just click on this, and from here, you can upload an image. I have already an image here. So one-on-one call, it's one of my services. So you can actually choose it from here. It uploads here. One thing I want to mention that if you don't have an image, you can also add a photo from Unsplash, which is like a royalty-free image gallery. So let's say I have strategy now. This is strategy related service. So let's see if there's something cool that we could pick from here. So let's say this image, this looks strategy enough, if that makes any sense. But so you can just upload also, this image from the library. But in most cases, it would be better that it's your images. But if you don't have that right now, you can also use this as a placeholder. Now, you can obviously adjust the title and the price, and you don't need to always have at a discount. You just remove this, and then it's not anymore at the discount, right? I just select this, and I'll just make it not strike through anymore, and now the price is like this. Now, what if I want a description here or something, or the layout, you don't like it? Well, you click on the block again here, a bit off on side. You can choose what to display. Right now, it doesn't display the description, but I could add it here. You see, description, price, and then we have a button. I definitely want a button just because if people click on it, I want them to go to my offer. And there's more options here. So obviously background, how many products you have. We could also have fourth. You see it just shows up there. Or we can adjust the grid as well. So not only the layout. So right now the image is on top, but here you could also adjust, this is first title, description. Then you have just title, and then description is here at the bottom. And also this layout. If you have a lot of text, especially in description, this could work really well. For now, I'm going to just keep it to this one where the title is on top. And I could also choose to have only 2-column layout. Right now it's 3-column, 2-column layout, but it doesn't make sense. I have 3 different options here. So I'm just going to select. Let's say I'm updating this element, and if somebody clicks on the button, I want to add a link. So let's click on the button. Let's change a bit of the styling. So I'm going to make the rounded corners here for the button, and also the color. I want to have a bit different. Let's make it a bit more visible. Maybe something like this, or maybe even dark brown like this one. And then I need to obviously also change the text color. So I go to fonts. From here, I'll change it to white. That way there's a bit more contrast. And now here I can place a link. I can either do a link to a checkout page from Flodesk, and this is like a whole sales funnel that Flodesk also offers. We're not going to cover that part in this tutorial, but if you're interested in that, you can just click on the top right corner. There's a video, in-depth video, just going through the sales funnel part of Flodesk. In this video, I'm just focusing on the email marketing side. Or you can also place a link to another tool where you can sell products. Just for prettiness, let me upload one more image here so that it makes sense here. So let's say it's this one. Okay, I'm going to keep it super simple. So what we can do here at the bottom, we just come here. Let's delete this. Let's delete this as well. And let's say we want to add a video, because this quite often you want to add a bit of video content as well. So here, let's click on this. We have the video. And now if you click on this, you see here, you can add a URL from YouTube or Vimeo. If I paste the link here, you can see it just takes the thumbnail from my video, and you can adjust this little icon here. Right now it's not very visible, so I'm just going to change it to red to, you know, look a little bit like YouTube. So from here, yeah, that looks good. And I could also adjust how it looks like, but I think I like that it looks like a YouTube play button. So I'm going to keep it to that. Now, if somebody clicks on it, they'll just go to YouTube and the video will start playing there. And one more thing, I want to show you the layouts. This is something we covered already, but if you click on layouts, from here you can just add one of the layouts we saw earlier. There's a lot of them. So if you're, you know, want some inspiration, want some templates, just grab one of these. They just look really great. I like the designs they have it. I think it will fit a lot of you watching this video. For me, I don't need it right now, so I'm just going to delete this block. I'm going to also delete this signature. Then click on this address. Yours might say a bit different. I already entered something when I was playing around. So if you click on this, you have this address section here, and make sure to click on manage my address. So from here, my street, you just have entered the details. This is just dummy data I have, and you need to enter this address. Flodesk won't let you send any emails if you don't have any address here. I think it's just required by law to have this, some sort of a anti-spam law. So I entered something, save it. And one more thing here before we see how this email looks like. If you click on this last element here, you see unsubscribe or manage preferences. Right now it looks a bit boring, but if you go to we click on it and go to the messages part, you can choose what type of message you send. So you have standard, so there's a bit longer one, and you see brand name. Don't worry, we're gonna go later and adjust the settings, and this brand name will say your brand name. But I think this is a bit boring, and you have other options here for the text. So here, chill, unsubscribe or manage. Here, no hard feelings. I like that. I'm gonna keep to that, but you can take a look which ones fit your style the best. Okay, I think I'm happy with this email, and I just want to send it. Before that, I'll send it to myself just to test it, but I'll show you how to do that. But let's go and click on next. And if for some reason it says, hey, you didn't enter your address, just follow what it shows you there. Just click on the buttons and enter the address again, and then it should work. So I had a bug where it didn't allow me to go through, although I already entered the email, the address. So just do it again. What I like about Flodesk, it makes these settings step by step, and it's not overwhelming by any means. So you just answer a few questions. So who is this email coming from? So in my case, I'll just add Robert. And here you can see if you want to select another email address, then you would need to manage the senders. Right now, for this test, we don't need to, but later in this video, I'll show you how to do it. Let's click on continue. Write your subject line. So now we can add the subject line. I have here, I prepared something. And then we have the preview text. So what is a preview text? Well, actually, it is the text that shows up just after a subject line. So let me show you. So here I have an email. You see, this is the subject line and this is the preview text. If you don't enter any preview text, it'll just use the first text that you see in your email. So you can see here, this is the preview. So in my case, if I don't enter anything, it'll just say, hey, first name and blah, 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 blah. You can also enter here and entice people to click. You can make it a bit more sensational or just make it more interesting so that people can open up. So for example, if the subject line is how creators use email marketing to generate sales, I could say something. So something like this. I've helped more than 50 creators to make full-time income with these tips, or something like this, just to make it a bit more interesting. Now, just keep in mind, the longer your title is, the less the preview text shows. So let's go to continue. And now choose your recipients. Right now, we don't have any segments, so we're just gonna add ourselves here through individuals, but you could also upload a CSV. But later in this tutorial, I'll show you how to actually import subscribers to your list. So if you have already existing email list, how to upload it to Flodesk. So usually you would use a segment, and we're going to create segments a bit later, but let's just send it to ourselves right now. So here we can include, right now I don't have anybody, so I'm just going to start typing my email address that I want to send it to, like this. And then I could also exclude certain emails or maybe segments, but right now, let's not do that. There you go. This is going to one person, and I'm just going to click on continue. Now, At this point, what you could do is before you send out, before you do anything, you always should send a test email to yourself. I know we're already kind of doing that because that's the only recipient we have, but you could also, when you have a bigger email list, you can test this by just clicking on this. Okay, test recipient, and then you type in the email address, your email address, so you can see how it looks like, not only on desktop, but also on mobile phones. Let's send the test now. So I'm in my email box, and I actually have to go to spam to see my email. And this is actually expected just because we haven't done all the settings yet. So my Gmail thinks this is a spam because there's I haven't verified my domain name. I'll show you how to do that in the end of this video. So, but just to test this email, you can do it from here. You can see that right now it doesn't show anything because we need to make sure that this looks safe. So now I've reloaded this one. And this email looks great. It looks exactly how I designed it. So I'm glad about that. But one thing is kind of bothering me, and this looks very spammy. And you can get rid of this if you verify your domain name. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of this tutorial. And it's super important to do, just because if you don't, then sometimes your email will keep ending up in the spam folder, just because Google thinks you're a spammer because you're sending an email in the name of this domain name, but actually it came through this domain name, and it's just a Flodesk, like an email domain name or something. So later on we'll show you how this would say your domain name.com. Okay, so once you test it, you come back here, and now we can also choose when to send this email. You can send it immediately, or you can also schedule it. So from here you can select the date, and let's say I want to send it, I don't know, tomorrow, and from here time, choose a time. And if I choose a custom time, let's say 9 a.m. or something, and let's save it. There's also other options. Best time for morning, best time for afternoon. So if I click on that, it actually tells me around 6 a.m. is the best time in the morning. You can play around with this. You can choose one of these if you feel like they match what you want. But for now, I'm just going to use the 9 a.m. Let's save it. And from here, you can choose the time zone. I'm in Central European time, so that's correct. And then you can click on schedule. And let's click on schedule it. Okay, perfect. There you go. You have your email here. It's you see it's scheduled for tomorrow at 9 a.m. And if you have more emails, they'll just show up, all of them here and under emails menu. Designing an email was easier than you thought, right? So in the next lesson, which you can watch by clicking on this video banner right here, we will dive into essential settings and branding. These are crucial so we have consistent branding and avoid spam folders. So don't skip this lesson.